So Dr. Umar jumps out the window and tried to throw Fat Joe a life raft into the whole hip hop thing and said that he wants to host a summit, to see if Latinos were there at the creation of hip hop, which they weren't. And he said that they had break your neck beats, so on and so forth. And, Dr. Umar really just misread the room and, he jumped out there, jumped out the window, and he spoke out of turn. He should have just been quiet, truth be told. He wasn't in the conversation thus far, and we could have done better, stood to have, done better without having him even interject himself into the conversation because what he was saying was absolutely foolishness. And, he was trying to say that the reason why we ain't accepting Latinos into the whole creation story of hip hop is because they ain't Africans. We don't consider ourselves Africans. We're foundational Black Americans with ties to the land over here in America, with ties to the soil. We ain't no damn generic Africans, and that ain't the reason why we're not accepting them, into the creation story of hip hop. And that is because it's a lie. We just ain't letting people sit up here and tell lies, no matter if they Black from anywhere else on the face of this earth. If they ain't FBA freemen, they ain't got a claim to the foundational Black American cultural art form, which is hip hop. They just weren't involved in the creation of hip hop. And we ain't saying people, weren't participators in the hip hop scene, but it's a difference between participating and, being the creator. Now, we as foundational Black Americans, we were the sole creators of that. And a good movie, that depicts this, and we come with the receipts on, is our good brother Tariq Nasheed's movie Microphone Check, which debunks a lot of the myths and the lies that, have been spread around. But Dr. Umar totally misread the room and he jumped out the window. So I got the audio and the video of what Dr. Umar is saying, and he's looking foolish even saying it, and we're gonna walk through and talk about it. Fair use.
The big reason why this is even an argument, respectfully, to my Latino African family, is many of you do not accept your membership in the African race. You have an issue being considered a member of an African race. If you did not have that issue with identifying with your race, this would not even be a debate.
Hold on right there. Dr. Umar just totally misreading the room, and what he's saying, we don't identify as foundational Black Americans as being no damn Africans. We ain't no Africans. We're foundational Black Americans with ties to the soil over here in America. We ain't no damn second-class generic Africans. So stop trying to make us comparable to Africans and stop trying to, incorporate our lineage to be all inclusive with the Latinos, the Jamaicans, and all African people, Dr. Umar. That's a bunch of nonsense. We're our own group of people. Everybody else got their home team, where they from. And a lot of them Latinos, Black immigrants, they see themselves as being from Jamaica, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, so on and so forth, where they from. Why is it a problem that y'all trying to all-inclusive us as foundational Black Americans? Everybody got their cultural art forms. We don't go over there trying to say that, we created salsa music or we created, the Jamaican music, the reggae or nothing like that. We don't try to say that because these people have a whole damn hissy fit if we did so. They'll probably stone us to death, truth be told. And the fact of the matter is that everyone had to amalgamate into our cultural art forms as foundational Black Americans. And that was, hip hop, soul music, funk, rock and roll, you name it. Everyone had to amalgamate into our society. So them Jamaicans coming over here, they couldn't have, sang no damn reggae, and them Latinos, Puerto Ricans, they couldn't have put out no salsa music or they cultural art form because they wouldn't have sold. They had to amalgamate into our society. This is very telling that people are trying to, steal our cultural art forms as well. It's really like disrespectful if you ask me, because we don't go nowhere else and claim that we created somebody else's cultural art form. So, we need to start to look at that aspect of the sheer disrespect it is for people to come and try to lay claim to our cultural art form. And Dr. Umar, you can miss me with the whole Pan-Africanism thing, because we tried that Pan-Africanism thing for many years as foundational Black Americans, but it got us nowhere, and we're getting more done now that we've acknowledged the lineage and delineated and got on code with one another than Pan-African ever has gotten us, because we were the kickstand, to a lot of these other groups of people with that whole Pan-Africanism thing. We were holding people up. We were like the kickstand on that bike, and these other people weren't putting points on the board, and then they were, expecting us to hold and prop them up, and them damn days is over. But let's continue.
there would be no were the Latinos there. Peace and Pan-Africanism. This is your big brother, Dr. Umar Tunde Oguntade, coming to you live and direct from the city of brotherly love. I've been getting all kind of messages, inboxes, emails about the FBA ADOS versus Fat Joe situation. And today is the first day of...
And another thing I want to add is a lot of these black immigrants, they see themselves as wherever they're from, and the same with the Latino immigrants. And a lot of these black immigrants don't even identify with us foundational black Americans, and that's cool because we just solely identifying with our group now, not to mean that we don't wish other people good luck, but you know, they've been a hindrance and good riddance to these other groups of people. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these other groups of people, even if they are black, they're anti-FBA, you know, and they undermine us. And a lot of Latinos don't even like black people, truth be told. Now, they'll steal from us, you know, and claim our culture and try to dress like us and, you know, amalgamate into our society in that way. But as far as them, you know, rocking with foundational black Americans, a lot of them groups of black immigrants, but especially Latinos, got hate and vitriol for foundational black Americans.
Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa to all my American Africans and Africans throughout the world.
And side note, he's speaking about Kwanzaa. We need to look into that whole Kwanzaa thing because the guy Karenga was said to be some kind of FBI informant. You know what I mean? And we got our own holiday in the Tutnese language. It's called a Ratasase. You know, that's our FBA Freedman holiday.
The first principle of Kwanzaa is Umoja, unity. Umoja, unity. In the interest of unity, I am proposing that there be a public...
We tried the whole unity thing. The unity thing means us getting all inclusive with these other groups of people and them stealing from us and, you know, and co-opting our culture and undermining us. You know, that's what they mean when they say include, when they talk about unity, they want us to, you know, just be all inclusive with these other groups. And like I said before, our power don't come from being exclusive. Our power comes from being exclusive. You got a cup of coffee that you want to hit, once you start integrating the sugar in it, the creamer, this dilutes the coffee. You want that coffee to hit and be strong, you stand alone. And you know, this is what we as FBAs are doing right now.
Of unity, I am proposing that there be a public seminar.
I don't want no unity, truth be told, with people that want to lie and steal my cultural art forms because this thing is bigger than us. You know, we're doing this to protect our cultural art form for the little babies and FBA children growing up so they can, you know the greatness that lies within their people.
Conference and hearing on who exactly created hip hop. From my understanding,
now he wants to say he wants to create a summit where, you know, he's going to sit there and facilitate, you know, bring people together to talk about who created hip hop. And if you ask me, Dr. Umar gives himself way too much credit. He ain't even, you know, in a position to speak for anything, you know, regarding who created hip hop, because he ain't no damn advocate to foundational black American society. You know what I mean? He gives himself way too much credit. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
Hip hop is exclusively an American African creation, although there has been Latino African contribution. From my understanding, hip hop is an American African creation.
And I wouldn't even call it contribution. Now, they participated, yes, but, you know, we have the infrastructure already in place as foundational black Americans, you know, and we let other people come in and, you know, before we know it, they start to say that everything was created by them, 50-50, so on and so forth. And them days is over, Dr. Umar. We ain't going along just to get along. You ain't going to sit here and have us, you know, hold on to some fake global black unity that just don't exist, maybe in a perfect world. And I wish it do exist, truth be told, but a lot of these other groups of people, they've been undermining us and been a hindrance. And them days is gone. We just getting on cold with the lineage as foundational black Americans and looking out for our needs first and foremost.
From my understanding, hip hop is an American African creation with Latino African contribution. I could be wrong on that. In fairness to the Latino,
and he could call Latinos African, you know, but a lot of them, they and even black immigrants, they see themselves as wherever they from. They don't even say that they African, but he can do that to them. But don't try to dump that, that label onto foundational black American freedmen. You know what I mean? Because we ain't that and that ain't us. And it's okay for people to be whatever they want to be, but we've acknowledged what we are, and the power comes in that because nobody named us. We designated who we are, and we're saying what it is, and people just got to respect it because they can't check it.
The Latino African family, in fairness to the American African family, there needs to be a public discussion, a town hall meeting on this issue, because I don't want this to turn left. I don't want it to turn right. And I don't want the white American power structure to manipulate American Africans against Latino Africans. So
ain't nobody going to manipulate us against anyone, Dr. Umar. So stop with the nonsense. Cut it out.
What needs to happen? All the mothers and fathers of hip hop, everyone who believes that they are a mother or father of hip hop, everyone who claims to have been there at the foundation of hip hop need to be on a panel. I am volunteering Dr. Umar Ifatunde, the most relevant voice in the black African world, not just in America, but the entire...
Yeah, he gives himself way too much credit. He just went on to say that he's going to wants to facilitate some kind of hip hop summit to see if, Latinos were there in the creation, and they weren't, so this ain't up for debate. We don't need no summit to prove that. The movie Microphone Check done debunked a lot of these myths and, lies that they were trying to spew out there and put in the lexicon. We came back with the truth and we got receipts on it, and anything that says otherwise is a lie. So we ain't letting people come and try to co-opt our culture and say that it was created by anything other than a foundational black American. And another thing he said in this little video he did, Dr. Umar, that the Latinos had breakneck beats, Nori and Fat Joe and Big Pun's hit they had, Still Not a Player, that was sampled from one of our FBA sisters, so that shows where they get their hits from. They got to come and pull on some FBA greatness to even make a hit, truth be told. And as far as Nori, the biggest hit that I know he had was that Super Thug beat, and guess who did the beat for that, Dr. Umar? That was done by our foundational black American brother Pharrell. See, whatever you take it, however you try to take it, you can't take it from foundational black American hands. Even a lot of these guys' samples were from foundational black Americans, even including Biggie, and we ain't saying that people didn't, participate in it, but participation don't mean that you created it. So stop with the damn nonsense, Dr. Umar, and you should have kept quiet, but you just interjected yourself to stay relevant because that Pan-Africanism thing is, outdated like spoiled milk. Just my thoughts on the matter, but we locking down everything now, and we ain't hearing nothing that don't say otherwise. FBA all day. Peace.